The extortion empire of the Big U enterprise was apparently just the tip of the iceberg when it came to the crimes committed by the alleged leader of the
we know
60s.
that.
The 2025
It's Thanos. Do your homework on the glove. That's Thanos 2.0. Thanos' spirit is inside of his body. He's Thanos mixed with Debo. Do your homework on the mixtures. I'm trying to tell you.
Complaint would shockingly allege that Big U kidnapped and murdered a victim named as RW in response to disrespect from that individual, but the truth of that story is much darker than anyone could have possibly imagined. The young man in question was named Rayshawn Williams, a young football player who had personally been coached by Big U and was a close friend of his son, who went on to play for the LA Chargers in the NFL. Highlights of Rayshawn playing had circulated online when he was still a teen. Previously touted as a talented player to watch, his career was slowed by a knee injury that had him off the field for a whole season. He was apparently being courted by UCLA until his injury, and by 2018 he would officially no longer be on the team. Big U had reportedly not only coached Rayshawn in football growing up, but Rayshawn actually lived with Big U and his family for a brief period during high school, with Big U actually kicking him out after he stole a chain from his son and wore it to school. But despite the apparent brief fallout, Big U was allegedly still playing a supportive role in Rayshawn's life as he tried to find another career path following his football injury, and it would seem that he decided to give music a try. Rapping under the name Young Judah, from May 2020, he would tease his upcoming musical debut in the form of an EP called Golden Dreams, which dropped in June 2020. Clearly an aspirational title, Rayshawn had high hopes for his rap career, continuing to tease his project as months went by. Unfortunately, his music wasn't really hitting. He would post snippets of songs that he had made on his IG, and things weren't exactly industry ready. In one song, he called himself Ray Hustle, an ironic reference to Big U's other murdered protege, Nipsey Hussle. As time went on, Rayshawn would post more snippets. He seemed to be improving as a rapper song by song, even turning on the auto-tune and having a crack at making more emotional pain music. Despite not having success off music yet, Rayshawn was already living the high life, posting pictures of himself chilling in luxury properties. Curiously,
hey, you know one thing about them niggas from LA, boy, they gonna get some money. I'll promise you that. One of the thing about them LA niggas is they gonna have some type of money going on. Some type of money. Do your homework.
One post with a caption saying that some people think that he's rude. Anyway, he continued to experiment, dropping more snippets of music that he'd been working on, and showing himself in Las Vegas on numerous trips throughout 2020. But apparently behind the scenes, there was some kind of disagreement between Rayshawn and Big U, who had been apparently trying to help him get his music career going. Big U was apparently bankrolling Rayshawn's trips to a studio in Las Vegas to record music, but he was seemingly using his time in the wrong kind of ways. According to the criminal complaint, on January the 20th, 2021, Rayshawn allegedly recorded a diss song where he seemed to suggest that someone would get shot in the face over money.
See, I ain't know that. I didn't know that. Bruh. Look. Rapped about the person who had the money. RW would be popped in the face for thinking it was funny, and referenced a .38 revolver with no trace. This is what he said in his diss song to Big U. Now, I still think Thanos is crazy. Do your homework on the glove. But you unalived him over that? I mean, I get it, but damn.
Rayshawn allegedly recorded a diss song where he seemed to suggest that someone would get shot in the face over money, with feds making the suggestion that he was actually dissing Big U. It being believed that there was a dispute over Rayshawn wasting Big U's studio time and not making the most of the time that he had been gifted, with reports from another person involved in organizing the studio sessions that Rayshawn had been skipping out and having too much fun during a week where he was supposed to be making a song a day. The day after the alleged diss song, Rayshawn releases a different song as a snippet to his Instagram where he indeed seems to be dissing someone, rapping about how he doesn't need to hate someone.
Ain't no need for me to hate you. I wish you the best. Young nigga self-made. I put it on my flesh.
Disagreeing with, but he wishes them the best, and dismissing any criticism that they've made, saying how he doesn't hear it and they should say it with their chest, ending with a sly lyric saying that he's supporting his friends by buying all their merch, and dissing someone for being a snitch and saying how they would get killed for that. It's unclear if any of these lyrics were indeed intended as a sneak diss towards Big U, as he wasn't mentioned specifically. However, the Instagram post that included this song, eerily, was the only one on his page that Big U had liked publicly.
So Big U ain't like no other song on the whole page except this one. Hold on, y'all, because y'all know I love putting y'all on to that easy money. Cashkick.com is a free to use cash rewards marketplace that helps you save and grow your money. This is some of the simplest and easiest ways to make money right now. All you have to do is play mobile games on your phone and you can earn up to $500 per deal. Now remember, I said cashkick.com is free to use, so they will never, ever, ever ask you to send them any type of money. Signing up is super easy. All you need is an email and a password. Once you sign up, all you have to do is download your first offer and start making money. Now your offers and reward amounts can change at any time. So that means you can download a game on your phone, play it for long enough, make $500 on one day, and the next day you can download a whole nother game, play it for long enough, make $300. Next day, same thing. This is some of the easiest money I can tell you about right now. And again, you can earn up to $500 per deal. So this is what I need you to do. Go to cashkick.com, make you an account, activate your account. Make sure you turn on allow tracking on your phone so that the app can actually track how much you're playing the game and earn you some of the easiest money you can make. Y'all can't say I ain't never did nothing for you. Skate. That's spooky.
It's highly possible that he perceived this as disrespect and was letting Rayshawn know that he had his eye on him.
Right.
According to the criminal complaint, it's alleged that 2 days later, on January the 21st, interestingly, this being Big U's daughter's birthday, Big U and Faye, aka Robinson, drove from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, arriving at the studio unexpectedly, causing the studio security to be confused and ask a lot of questions. According to the later full indictment, Big U had gone there to confront Rayshawn about his lack of production during the allotted studio time, then later going to Rayshawn's Airbnb at 2 a.m. to ask him why he hadn't been at the studio the previous day.
Okay, so this is where it got a little cloudy for me, but I'm getting it. So I think, okay, so Big U drove to Vegas, right? Approximately 2 a.m., defendant Henley arrived at the Airbnb in the sedan and asked victim why victim had not been at the studio the previous day, wasting studio time and disrespecting unique music and the Big U enterprise. So I thought he had went to the studio and then went to the Airbnb, and then the dude who died went in the house, came out with his stuff. Then they got in the car. A Big U unalived them. But I always was thinking, like, you know, how did that, you know?
Calling him out for disrespecting the Big U enterprise. The next day, on January the 24th, and into the night of the 25th, Big U was at a recording studio with Rayshawn and somebody else known only as Witness 2. Big U arrived at the studio around 7:04 p.m, with Rayshawn arriving an hour or two later, recording a song from 11 p.m. until midnight, but clearly, whatever Rayshawn recorded or said didn't quite cut it for Big U, and things were about to get dark. Then, at 12:37 a.m, Big U left the studio, apparently driving Rayshawn back to his Airbnb. During this journey, at 12:58 a.m, Big U's phones were turned off. Interestingly, in a 2021 Drink Champs interview, Big U had mentioned how phone data makes it impossible to get away with crimes these days.
The unique thing is, because of the way we are right now, we'll never have these stories. Because the camera ain't gonna let it, the one on the street corner. The phone ain't gonna let it, the one that's telling everything. And it's just these stories will become what the mafia stories were.
But anyway, perhaps some kind of conversation on that ride between Rayshawn and Big U took a bad turn, leading you to make a decision to do something extreme. By 1:13 a.m.
Nah, you see, that don't make no, I think Big U knew what he was doing. The only way this makes sense to me is if Big U knew what he was about to do. So he picked folks up from the studio. He left with them and played it real cool. And then they went to the Airbnb and he's still playing it cool. Then he turned his phone off. When folks get back in the car, he drive off. He turned his phone off because he know what he finna do. You feel me?
a.m, Big U had pulled up to the spot where Rayshawn was staying, with Rayshawn spending 10 minutes gathering his belongings and returning to the car with a suitcase. Despite being scheduled to stay at the Airbnb another day, based on the details in the paperwork, Big U would drive with Rayshawn to a location on the I-15 highway. Allegedly, it was here that he would pull off the road, shooting Rayshawn dead and dragging his body into a remote spot off the highway into the desert of Las Vegas near a landfill, with the later indictment showing an image of the crime scene where the body had been found with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. Investigators did test drives to prove that the drive to the location where the body was found matched the amount of time that it would have taken from the car departing from Rayshawn's B&B, and then from the murder location to where Big U's phone was turned back on, and started reporting location data once again, which was around 2:15 a.m. Within an hour of turning his phone back on, Big U returned to the recording studio, covered in sweat, telling those there that he had just been to the gym. Interestingly, days later...
Let me see what this say. So he said it don't say that somebody said he returned. It says for a fact he returned.
Covered in sweat, telling those there that he had just been to the gym. Interestingly, days later, Big U demanded the removal of all surveillance and recording equipment and evidence from the studio after he left, with detectives believing that the footage would have shown an altercation between Big U and Rayshawn that took place before the murder. In the early hours of the morning after the murder, according to the paperwork...
Did they delete that though? That's another good question. Did they delete that footage?
Big U would leave Las Vegas for Los Angeles, with North Las Vegas Police Department agents discovering the body in the desert near the Apex landfill the following morning, with cops immediately theorizing that the murder had taken place right at the side of the I-15 roadway based on their discovery of blood and drag marks leading to where the body was found. A News 3 Las Vegas article would immediately report the news, telling the public how the police had received a call from a member of the public who found a body laying in a deserted area near Las Vegas and Clark Peterson Boulevard near the Apex. This is a barren and open desert space, which while deserted, doesn't seem like a place a body would be hard to miss out in the open in the daytime, but it's likely that Big U drove off this unmarked verge on the edge of the I-15 in the darkness of night, thinking that this would be a remote place to drag and leave the body, perhaps not realizing that this was right next to quite literally the largest and busiest landfill in the entire world. With Big U arriving back in Los Angeles an hour after the body was found in the Vegas desert. NLVPD would break the tragic news to Rayshawn's mother, who provided more backstory, telling them that Big U and Rayshawn were close and how he would usually call his mother weekly, but after the murder, the calls abruptly stopped, and Rayshawn's mother had apparently called Big U to confront him after the disappearance of her son, with Big U denying that he'd seen or heard from him. Big U even tried to cover his tracks by replying to an Instagram DM from Rayshawn the day after the murder, but nothing happened for 2 years, it would seem. And what's really fascinating is that Big U was right back to business after this alleged incident.
I didn't know that shit. This is crazy to me, gang.
Confront him after the disappearance of her son, with Big U denying that he'd seen or heard from him.
Big U said he didn't see or hear from him, even though the last time you was in Vegas, he was in Vegas. The last time he was seen, you was there, and they found his body on the side of the desert, bro. The last time he was alive was when he was with you, bro. So it's like, you know something or you did something. It's no in between.
Big U even tried to cover his tracks by replying to an Instagram DM from Rayshawn the day after the murder, but nothing happened for 2 years, it would seem. And what's really fascinating is that Big U was right back to business.
And he responded to the DM
incident,
was
arriving
wicked.
back to Los Angeles and beginning to promote his upcoming documentary, Hip Hop Uncovered, due to be released in a matter of weeks on FX. Meanwhile, the Crenshaw High football Instagram page would announce the death of their former wide receiver, Rayshawn Williams. His teammates would pay tribute to him in their Twitters, but curiously, Big U didn't once acknowledge the death of this young man who had been so close to him and his family for years. Weirdly, Big U never acknowledged this death of someone so close to him, but when Gilly's son Cheese was killed, he made a heartfelt post on the Unique Music account pleading, "Why are we losing our sons to the streets?" But then again, this could have been trolling, as Big U in the 60s were rumored to have robbed Gilly and his son years earlier, and U would post other tributes to other deceased youngsters that his friends had lost, but curiously, nothing about Rayshawn. As the days went on, Big U would continue to promote his upcoming FX documentary. He was enjoying his newfound fame, posting a clip of himself getting lint rolled by the wardrobe department, showing the world that he was now a superstar 60.
You did it before? He grown as hell too. That's the crazy part about that type of stuff, bro.
He would post a cryptic message saying that nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. After this, Big U would take to Instagram again to celebrate a billboard for his show placed on Sunset Boulevard, even pulling up to the scene to make a video saying that people are saying that they should stay away from Big U.
Trick.
What?
They say stay away from Big U, cuz.
They lying, cause look, Big U got us on the billboard on Sunset.
On Sunset.
He on Sunset.
You see that?
Oh, I know exactly
all up
where
in that
he
mic.
at,
You see that say,
I know exactly where he at.
Big U was laughing at his haters and seemingly sneaking a shot at Nipsey Hussle, saying that the marathon continues.
The marathon continues, goddammit.
This was
I'm
the
glad I
opposite
made
of
it
laying
out of
low.
LA.
Big U was
Boy,
soaking up the
crazy
spotlight
out there.
despite allegedly killing a close family friend less than a month before this. And the spotlight would shine brighter when eventually Hip Hop Uncovered would drop on February the 12th, 2021. Big U would tease part of the upcoming show, posting a clip where Wiz Khalifa described him as the godfather and claiming that you can't do anything in rap without Big U being consulted.
If I was to describe Big U's role in rap, he would definitely be the godfather. Can't do nothing without consulting him. He's the only guy who does move.
He's Thanos! He's Thanos! Can't do nothing without consulting him. He's the only guy who does move how he moves. That's Thanos. That's literally Thanos.
how he moves. He was involved with Nipsey. He had a relationship with Death Row.
People from certain neighborhoods' names would ring bells, and his name was ringing a lot of bells.
You was at the top of the game within just weeks of this alleged murder, and now his
right.
story was being broadcast to millions of people on television.
And
Hip Hop Uncovered would break down the life story of Big U in selective detail. It would include interesting tidbits, like a segment where he said that if he doesn't answer the phone, it can mean somebody dies.
People don't understand that sometimes if I don't answer the phone, it could be death for somebody else.
One of Big U's closest confidants and future...
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This nigga think look at him. He Thanos. This nigga's Thanos. Bro, he's Thanos, bro. This man is Thanos and James St. Patrick and mixed together, folks. Do your homework on James St. Patrick.
Co-defendant Bearclaw would even congratulate him on Instagram with a caption saying, "When you sit down and put your mind to it, anything is possible." But clearly behind the scenes, there was pressure on Big U. He would make a post at the start of March, seemingly angry about people coming to him with negative questions and saying that he wants people to keep him out of silly stuff, notably with the comments turned off. He'd post more cryptic statements to Instagram, like this one that says that he respects any man who can heal a heart that he didn't break and raise a child that he didn't make. Perhaps a coded admission of failure, alluding to efforts to help Rayshawn with his football coaching and rap career that ultimately he didn't have the patience to complete. The later criminal complaint would recount a recorded conversation where Big U allegedly seemed to allude to killing a kid who disrespected him and calling out people who thought he was retired. Ultimately, Big U might have just made the biggest mistake of his life. It would be years before people truly found out all the sordid details of this deadly case. In those years, not only did more extortion and pressing take place, but the chaos of LA streets would find its way to the podcast world, culminating in a dramatic downfall as several high-profile social media figures slowly pieced together the details of this murder and aired it out on podcasts for the whole world to hear, until finally the Fed stepped in and brought things to an explosive end.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.